Hi everyone, welcome back to our 75th anniversary National Fun Day. I'm here with Shauna McDaniel. We're going to do sparkly fairy sun catchers. I am Kat from the Breyer events team. I'm so excited to have everyone joining us. I hope you guys had fun painting your champagne stablemates with Alyssa and Jen. And now Shauna, let's get messy.
Awesome. So before we start, happy Thanksgiving to all the Canadians, since we like to do that one a little earlier than most of you guys do. So everybody, I hope you're having a great weekend with your family. But without further ado, how about we get started? Oh, I shook the camera again. Sorry. So this kind of came from actually Breyer Midwest. When we were at Breyer Midwest, Joanne's was at the end of the roll, if you will. And so, of course, we went as a little group to the Joanne's, and I found these amazing little wing molds. And as soon as I saw those little wing molds, I thought, oh my goodness, I'll bet you these will work on a stablemate. And beyond that, I bet you this is something that we could do at home. So I sent all my friends to grab as many as they could find so that we could do this today. And then, of course, we found them online so that you guys could pick them up anytime or anywhere and be able to do your own. So really today, what we're going to be talking about the most is safely working with UV resin. Now, I think most people have handled it or used it in the past. This is just kind of a no-name brand. I love Let's Resin stuff. It's super reliable, and I'm pretty sure that's what I put on your list for you guys to pick up because it's just a really nice, usable item that's really easy for you to set up and use at home safely, which is, of course, the key. Whenever we're using resins, we have to talk about safety. So step one, and okay, I'm like the safety lastest person out there, but we are going to be using our gloves today. And this is one of these things where if I wasn't speaking, I probably would be wearing a mask. What you guys can't see is I do actually have an air filter running in my studio at all times. For what we're doing today, it's not really a big deal. You're just going to kind of smell it. But if you want to do more with this stuff, I'd really encourage you to look into filtration or wear one of those big crazy masks so that you're staying safe and doing all the rest of it. Okay, so this is actually a really simple project that anybody can do at any point in time. So you guys have all seen the pictures of these guys with their cute little wings and all the rest of it. Now, these guys aren't, I don't want to say they're not good because that's not the truth at all. They're super cool and they're super fun, but there's nothing about them that makes me think this is a really hard thing and you have to get it perfect, et cetera, et cetera. These sorts of things are clear. So our margin for error is massive. And if we look at, let me grab this guy because I like pointing out when I made a mistake because in the pictures, we couldn't see how gloppy this all is. So what you want to take away from this is the glop doesn't matter. These are going to get gloppy. We are going to make a mess with these guys. You can see how much glop is up the wing. Don't worry about it. Don't stress about it. We're learning, we're messing around with something new, and we're going to have some fun doing it. So when we're dusting our molds, because that's our first thing we got to do. I've already dusted these guys. Some of them are already set up. You want to choose a fun, sparkly, preferably a clear sort of glitter. So in this case, I've used my favorite stuff, which is, of course, from my friends at Solar Color Dust. They make some of the best and coolest sparkly stuff out there, and I'm always talking about them. But for this one, I decided, especially since it's now harder to get it over the border, that I would start using just some random stuff that was super cheap off of Amazon. So this is one. These little guys down here are just this stuff. This guy over here, I think this was $1 off of Amazon. Literally, I'm just buying nail powders and trying all kinds of random stuff at different times. It really doesn't seem to matter that you buy the expensive stuff. It is nicer, especially when we're painting on the horse, but when we're dusting a mold, go cheap, have fun, use something you've lying around. Maybe you tried it on your nails and didn't like it, whatever. Grab it and see what happens when you put it in. Now, the one I'm going to use right now is called Ethereal. This is by Solar Color Dust. And this is from their Ethereal line, and it's called Luminous. And you can see it's like a gorgeous fine powder. This is like one of my favorites. I order it all the time. So we're going to grab a brush or Q-tip or little spongy thing or whatever you've got kicking around. It really doesn't matter too much. If you have nothing, dip your finger in and just rub it around. We're going to dip into our powder and dust our mold. Now, You can go as complicated as you want, but we would be here all night if we got carried away with that sort of thing. So we're going to try to not do that tonight. We're just going to do these kind of fun and fast, and then you can come back later. You've got plenty of supplies to do as many of these as you want down the road and kind of experiment with them. So we're just going to try and get a nice, you can see how pretty that teal is when you flip it around a little bit. Just try and get a nice even coat in there the best you can. Again, don't kill yourself. We're here to have fun. Don't stress. Don't let the perfectionist win. They're usually wrong anyway.
I'm very type A, Shauna, and I'm having a hard time already.
You can't have a hard time already. I know you're type A. I think you have to be type A to basically run Breyer Fest. Like, I think there's kind of a rule in there somewhere. This is one of these situations where let less be more.
All right, so that's helpful.
If you're super worried about coverage and time and how fast I'm going, just kind of splatter some in there and don't worry about it. Try not to worry about it.
Am I being overly ambitious by doing 4 wings?
No.
Okay.
No, we have plenty of time because I'll just talk about other things while some of this stuff is curing. Don't worry about it. So there we've got our nice teal. And again, that was luminous that I used in there because people always want to know what exactly it is I used when I do these sorts of things. So now while you're still dusting, what I'm going to talk about a little bit is just pouring the UV resin. Now, one of the problems with UV resin is bubbles. Where's my little guy with all the problems? Okay. So as we're working, it's very easy to get little bubbles or mist sections. Now, obviously on him, I didn't care. I was experimenting and just kept going. But I'm pretty sure on the camera there, you can see all those little jagged bits. I can actually fix those by using more UV resin and just filling those little areas, blah, 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 whatever. I'd rather show you guys my mistakes so that when you go away, you don't panic about your mistakes. Because really, some of this stuff is really easy to fix if you care enough to fix it. So there's another really good example. Now, some of the ways we can prevent these bubbles. Again, guys, don't stress. Go at your own speed. I'm going to just put a little bit of resin. Let's get this up to the camera in this holder. We're going to pour a little bit in. If you have a pen, actually, these molds are so shallow, I'm not even worried about it. The UV light can only go so deep into the resin. So sometimes we only do layers. I'm going to show you guys a different mold that's sitting down here that should be done in layers. These little guys, don't worry about it. You'll be fine with your little pen lights. The one thing that we can do here, go away, bubble, is actually use a toothpick or the end of a paintbrush or something you can throw away and you don't care about to just kind of dislodge some bubbles. So we'll just kind of nick this around a little bit. And we're going to trace all of the lines of our little wings so that we don't get any of those weird little missing gappy bits. The super cheap paintbrushes are awesome for doing this. I had 2 sitting right on my toothpicks. I was organized. So like these ones that you get like 50 for $5 off of Amazon. I think Kat orders like 1,000 of them a year. They're perfect because you're just going to use it to go through all your crevices and lines and then either do the next one or chuck the silly thing. So I'll do this one over here just to show you using the paintbrush instead. I'm not sure that's enough, but whatever. I can.
How deep should the resin be in the mold?
It can be as deep as you want. For these, don't worry about filling it. You just want to make certain all of the patterning is covered.
Got it.
You can always add more, but it's real hard to take any away. So actually in these molds, I'm going to say I think the toothpick is more effective than the paintbrush. But it's still doing the same job. I'm just going through the lines and you can see the bubbles coming to the top. Now we don't really want those bubbles. So we have a couple options. Number one is to wait if we're a patient person and let the bubbles kind of rise to the surface. We can poke them with our toothpick. I can see I've missed a spot down here. Let me grab my toothpick back up. Just get that in there. Can we see that okay on camera with the bubbles?
This is fascinating.
Probably. If you're in a hurry, you can use heat. The obvious way to use heat would be with a heat gun. We didn't put that on the supply list because I don't want people spending $50 until they try something and see if they actually like doing it. You can use a lighter or like my little barbecue friend here. If you're a little extra insane, you might own a butane torch and just want to kill all your bubbles that way. That's for sure the fastest way. All of these molds are silicone, and silicone can stand up to all the heat. So as resin's setting, it does tend to heat up. Not super hot in these thin little quantities, and it's when we get deeper then it might actually burn or cause a problem. So you can see by hitting it with my crazy butane torch, I've gotten rid of all of our bubbles. Are you ready to go on, Kat?
I seem to be. I don't think I have any bubbles, unless I'm confusing
Honestly,
glitter for
if you
bubbles.
pour it slowly and carefully, which I didn't do, you can often avoid the bubbles. The other thing I find is if I don't squeeze the bottle, but I'm not patient. I'm never patient. I'm always in a hurry for no good reason. So if you don't squeeze the bottle and just let it gravity drop, you don't tend to get bubbles. But if you're impatient and squishy and doing it all wrong, odds are pretty good you're going to get bubbles. All right, so curing. Now, this one cures in, I think, about 2 minutes, given how deep it is. The pens are a little fussier to cure just because they have all the different areas. Let me certain this is off before I bring it on camera. So I have this monster.
That's a large piece of equipment.
It goes well with my butane torch. Anyway, I like this thing because it's really quick. So for the purposes of what we're doing, it's fantastic. I don't want to, well, turn it on facing down. I don't want to turn it on facing up. And the other thing too is we're using UV lamps. We all know UV can cause problems. So wearing gloves that don't allow any UV through is pretty smart. Again, if you just have clear, cheap gloves for now because you're trying it, don't worry too much about it. No, your blue is great. Blue is awesome. Any of the solid colored ones, it's the clear ones I just don't think are a great idea with the UV lamps. So I'm just going to hold it up here. We can tell it's on. Yes. This sucker will like burn your eyeballs out, this one. So I definitely have to be careful where I'm pointing it, especially when it's on camera. And
Thank
this
you
is
for not
also
blinding all of our fans. On behalf of them, we appreciate you.
welcome. I figured it would help them tune back in if I didn't blind them all. So it's going to go pretty quick for me. For you guys, it's going to be a little bit slower. So if you're trying to do 4 or 6 or however many wings, maybe focus on 2 for now and we'll get those mounted. And then you guys can do the other 2 after if you're so inclined. So let me see here. Yeah, see, mine's nearly done. I wouldn't expect the ones being done with flashlights to nearly be done. And just be patient with them. If they still feel tacky, give them another minute. It's not worth trying to pull them too soon. That's probably good on mine.
I'll just be over here drying for the next 2 to 4 business days.
Sorry. You weren't supplied with a big enough lamp. That's right. I won't get an email about that.
This is Alyssa's kit. We're not going to shame Alyssa.
It's like I'm not going to get an email later about that at all.
I used all of her resin.
Sorry, Alyssa. So mine is like nicely cured. It's a little warm, so I'm just going to give it a second. I don't want to pull it too soon. I think while I let it cool, I'm actually just going to talk about the other mold. So this mold was not on your supply list. But I had someone specifically ask if I could find a dragon wing mold.
That's so cool.
Isn't that great? So this is just off of Amazon. I think I paid $5 for them and it came with like all 3 of these. These are a cake mold. So if you just type in batwing cake mold, like everybody makes this crazy one. So I just quickly, right before we got on here, made my friend. So now her wings are ablaze, which is a very flaky sort of one of my favorites. And it's another solar color dust. So unfortunately, that one is a bit pricey, but there's lots of great alternatives now. There's so many more options than there used to be. I'm just used to using like the really nice stuff. I may have spoiled myself a bit. But this is the exact same technique. I haven't done anything different. I haven't put really enough effort into attaching these wings, and that is definitely a whole bunch of dog hair. We'll just pretend that's not there. But like, it really isn't an exact science because, again, unlike when we're using epoxy, if it's that far from you, you can't tell that it's just a big blob of UV resin that's holding that on. So she's really fun. I can't remember who asked, but I did make certain that I actually did it. So let's see if our little wings here are cool. Yes. So when we pop these out,
I'm not sure if I'm at the popping out stage yet, but I'll watch.
That's okay. If you're not, don't worry about it. Like if you have to just say, forget it, or we'll get there when we get there. So it's super shiny. We'll drop him down onto here, pop another one out. So I have absolutely missed some bubbles despite using my butane torch. I don't know if you can see. Anyway, not going to worry about it. It's just fine. I'm working without my glasses on. It'll be what it is. So we will grab, I'm just going to carry on. So leave your light on it and then watch what I'm doing so you won't notice the time going by. A lot of times, actually, what I'll do with the UV resin is I'll turn on music. And when the song finishes, then I'll take the light off. Otherwise, I, again, get impatient and ruin things. It's a bit of a trend around here. So we're just going to quickly put one of this guy's wings on. I'm just quickly snapping off some of the excess resin because, again, I was neither careful nor patient. So that's all tidied up. The one thing we can do to kind of help our wings stay on better, because we're not wiring. If I was teaching you guys with resin or metal or any of these other things, we would be wiring our wings on. In this case, we're just depending on the UV resin. So I don't think I put it on the supply list because I forgot, but a little bit of sandpaper, or in this case, a file, just a little bit where we're going to put the UV resin. That's not really working very good. Let's go with the sandpaper. I'm literally just giving him a little scratch up so that our glue has something to grab onto. I'm just giving the Suncatcher basically a little bit of tooth. And then I think I'm just going to use this thing because I don't have extra hands.
It would be great if sandpaper could magically appear in my hand.
It would be magical if sandpaper magically appeared.
It would be great.
There's 4 extra hands and none of them are making sandpaper appear. We tried. Don't worry about it. It really, makes it more secure step as opposed to worrying it being like priority step.
Okay.
These guys I actually threw in my saddlebags and took out into the backcountry. Do not have that step done. And you can see the Albie, all 4 wings are on. It's not a huge deal. It just makes it a little bit more secure. So don't stress about it. Now, in the same haphazard way I do most things, I've just turned my light on, just so you guys know. I'm going to put a little bit of glue here right in the shoulder capsule and literally just plunk it in. This is where you're going to see why I think it's important to have the gloves on. Can we see how pretty and purple he is? Oh, sort of. Should only take just a minute under this lamp. Again, with the hand flashlights, it's going to take a little bit extra.
I've got 3 out of 4 wings popped out. I'm just waiting on my 4th.
You're actually going faster than I was hoping for, so that's awesome.
I might be a little premature here, but we're gonna figure it out.
We're not worried about it tonight. We are messing around and finding out this evening. Okay. Once again, have I done a fantastic job? No. Is he sparkly? Yes, he absolutely is. So I haven't put very much in here yet. I'm actually going to just kind of drizzle a little bit more on. Again, remember, if I don't squeeze the bottle and I'm patient, I won't get bubbles. My lamp's still on. Cook him maybe so people can actually see him. Awesome. See, he's all sparkled up with his magical little wings.
Look at that.
I love when you like flip it and it changes the color entirely. Anyway, I'm basically a crow with all of these things. It's terrible.
I have 4 wing parts. Do you recommend me putting my wings together and then putting them on the stablemate, or doing them one at a time on the stablemate?
That is an awesome question. I would put them on one at a time and start with your lower one. That's why I've got the dragonfly here. So I would put the lower one on kind of, I'm not sure which stablemate you're working on.
I got an Albie unicorn here.
Oh, Albie's the bestest. Okay. So I would put it on, you see the 2 major muscle groups?
Mm-hmm.
I would put the lower wing aligned with the lower muscle group, and then your upper wing will just layer on top, and it'll kind of look like it's coming out of the shoulder.
Got it.
Instead of being, you know, haphazard placement.
All right.
And then, of course,
We have a question from a viewer. Is this possible to do on a regular stablemate, or should it have to be clear wear?
Does not have to be clear wear, and you can paint this stuff afterwards. So if you want to do a solid colored horse and put clear wings on it like a dragonfly would have, that is fantastic. Because of course I actually have one sitting in my studio. You know, if you go with a solid body and then put an actual dragonfly type wing on it, it looks really neat. So if you already have something you like the look of, because we're using a very clear substance to apply the wings, you don't need to worry about it. You can use an OF, you can use whatever, and just apply the wings that you want to put on it and just have kind of a different effect. But we have all these amazing clear wear horses, and it's fun to do something a little different with them than just, you know, kind of slap some paint on them and see what happens. How are we doing? Do we have 2 wings on?
I've got an wing.
That's awesome.
I got 1 wing so far.
Fantastic. Okay, let me go over painting, because you've done it with me before, right? With the glue?
What was that?
Sorry. You've done the glue process with me before, yeah?
I think so, but refresh my memory.
All right. So we're going to use my best friend. This is Aliens Tack It Over and Over. I think it's Stick It Again and Again down in the US. I can't remember who's done what or why.
I think I've gotten both.
Yeah, like I don't know why they have 2 different ones. It is the same formula. It basically is a Post-it note material. Let me just use a Q-tip here.
We have another.
This bottle has been to like 3 Breyer Fests now. It's amazing there's anything left in it.
Now, if we wanted to be extra creative, can we put glitter in the resin and mix glitter into the resin first, or does it have to be?
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yes. And you can put just about anything into UV resin. So, like this stuff over here is really chunky. Get the lid off so you can actually see it. You can totally throw this into the resin and still have it set up. I love this one. Actually, I was going to use it for painting because it'll give you like a little Appaloosa thing going on without, you know, extra effort. Let's use you since I have plenty of you guys. So what I've done is very mathematically, not even close to mathematical, 50-50 with water with the glue. So this just thins it down and makes it easier to apply. And I'm just going to use my Q-tip because it really doesn't matter for this. It's going to go on kind of thick and kind of gloppy. So we're just going to make him a little Appaloosa, I think. So I'm just literally going to do his little bum.
This resin is amazing.
Pardon me?
This resin is amazing. I got 3 wings.
That's awesome. That little pen is fantastic. I wasn't sure how good the pens were going to be. I figured they'd need a little extra time, but they're doing fantastic. Oh, I guess I actually have to cure that one over there. So right now, I'm literally watching paint and glue dry, because why not? So do we have any other questions?
Not yet.
Putting wings on, man.
I am so proud of myself right now, Shauna.
I'm so proud of you. I can't wait to see pictures of it.
I never get to do the fun creative stuff.
I know. I hope you actually will do my workshop at Breyer Midwest this time.
I am not allowed to do that. I have other things to do at Breyer Midwest.
No, it all just runs itself.
Also, we haven't announced that yet, so.
Well, all right.
Cat's out of
So
the bag.
that's totally not happening. And I didn't say what. I absolutely didn't say what. So at least there's that.
That's true.
There you go. There's options.
Does the plastic of the mold matter? Like
No.
CA versus I don't actually know what the clear word is made of. So cellulose acetate?
Whatever that other plastic is. No, it doesn't seem to matter at all. And the other really cool thing about the UV resin is it's the best way to repair the other UV resins. So the 3D prints that we've now got kicking around in the hobby, it does a much better job than crazy glue. So in terms of having something in your toolkit, even if you don't create a whole bunch of these little winged guys, it has a lot of uses. And it's a great emergency fix. It's a great eye gloss. If you don't want to use like a liquid gloss, the drops are really fantastic. And, you know, you break your glasses, you can fix them with UV resin. Oh my gosh, it looks amazing. Look at that.
All right.
See, he's magical.
So magical.
He is so magical. All right, slap some glue on wherever you want to put some glitter. You're like, woman, I just got the wings on this thing.
I'm ready.
You're ready?
I'm ready for glue.
Amazing.
All right. Does it matter which brush I use?
No.
Cool. Am I using the same brush for glue and glitter?
You're going to want to do something different, but you can just use your fingertip with the glitter.
Okay.
It's not really a big deal. Let me see, I got a little too much on there. Just do that. Because we're high tech over here. Why do I have used gloves? All right. So I think my glue is almost dry. And this is the same technique that I use for the hollow. And yes, you can absolutely use the hollow. This is my like massive jar of it sitting here. It looks so boring and gray because I don't have good light in here right now. But you can use this to dust your molds. You can use Pearl-Ex to dust your molds. Like anything at all can go in there as long as it's a dry powder. You can dye UV resin. That's when the problems start. Oh. So as soon as you go over 6% of the volume, which is a lot of math for someone like me who's not patient and doesn't want to deal with that, you start to have it not set up or only partially set up, or it just becomes really obnoxious. So I find adding dry things is way better, and just keep it super shallow, especially again with those little lamps as opposed to my monster truck lamp that's sitting here. All right. So my glue is almost dry. We're going to call it good. Once that's 100% dry, it is 100% clear. And it won't take it very long. It doesn't matter if I get impatient. The only time it matters is when I'm using the hollow, because it tends to make a bit of a mess when I do it impatiently, which is really frustrating. I had another Q-tip. How about a brush? How about a totally wrecked brush? That'll work. Okay. So this is my chunky glitter. To heck with it. We'll just spill it. So I'm literally just going to put the chunky glitter right into the glue. And all over my desk and all over my floor. And if there were dogs in here, whatever. None of this is new. And again, this is some cheap stuff off of Amazon. Like it's not high end. It's not magical or special, but once it's on, now he's a nappy. And we can go and we can paint the whole horse. We can add glue to the whole horse. We can use our clear paints at this point to do whatever we want. Where is the Albie I was messing with?
Someone is asking if we can use Krylon glitter spray to paint the horse.
Sure.
What are your thoughts on that?
Absolutely.
All right.
Yeah, no, because it won't. Krylon and I aren't friends. We've had several run-ins, but that's my elevation and humidity. So every time someone says Krylon, I cringe, but I know full well it works great when you don't live at 3,000 feet above sea level. So yes, absolutely. It will not interact with the UV resin. You can use it totally safely. You're not going to end up melting your horse. So when we look at this guy, this is literally one of these things where I was just trying a whole bunch of things on him. So that'll be like the ethereal stuff. And this is using my gloss varnish dipped in any of these clear or white powders. So I'm literally just kind of creating a paint using the clear powder and applying it to the horse. And I really didn't have a system for this one because, oh, I'm moving the camera again. Sorry, guys. There we go. I really didn't have a system because I was literally just trying to see what would happen if I did whatever on this poor guy. But sometimes those are the most fun ones. You never know where that stuff's going to end up. So I popped in another set of wings that I've now spilled glitter to, and it's stuck, but whatever. You can also spend some time and fill these lines in if you're so inclined. Now, there's some really neat nail products, which is, again, just using UV resin. This was one I grabbed really quickly before. It is a UV resin, and I'm just going to put a little bit in here. It's in a little line drawing bottle, and it already has silver added to it. So rather than trying to mix or color the resin, I'm just applying a colored resin. And this is just, again, another cheap Amazon find. Fill that little line down here. And it's not totally opaque. I'm certain I could load that up a little bit more. But it just makes it a little easier to paint or change the colors in small areas. And it's going to set up in the exact same way. A couple seconds under the UV light, and we should be good to go on it. Nearly, we'll call that good. So let's take our little friend here, and we'll put his wing on. Where did I put my little support? Like so. We'll align it to his shoulder. Hit the camera again. That's super helpful. Again, sorry guys, I hope nobody has motion sickness. Well, at least they didn't before they started, but you know.
I'm so focused on painting this unicorn that I'm not even paying attention to you.
It's deeply reassuring that you're not even paying attention to me.
Not even. I'm so focused on the fact that I'm achieving this goal.
And it looks awesome, doesn't it?
I'm pretty excited about it. Like, it's pretty cool.
I really love creating these things that anybody can pick up and do them. And at the end of the hour, be like, holy cow, I did that. Like, that's actually mine. And it didn't go horribly wrong. And I'm not glued to the table yet.
Yet.
And then take it home and enjoy it. Because I think so much of our hobby is so intimidating. Nobody knows where to start. Like, what? Oh, my goodness, where do you even start to get going? What do you do first? And yeah, so doing these things so that people can just take a deep breath, have some fun, maybe have a couple drinks, depending on what time it is where you are, and just kind of enjoy the process of messing with the supplies and creating these horses or horse-like objects. Let's put your other wing on. Like so. I will add that this insane headlamp one was still only like 20 bucks. So really getting into UV resin isn't super expensive if you enjoy it as something fun to do. You stay? We're going to stay. So there we go, from start to finish. We have our little glitter Appaloosa Clydesdale guy with his wings on.
That was adorable.
And nobody died.
Nobody died.
Isn't that one of the rules in the things I sign?
Yes, it is actually.
Yes. Put a little bit more glitter there. So yeah, we can spray this guy with gloss. You paint him with gloss if you don't want to spray it. You can do just about anything you would to a normal custom.
Okay.
Without any concerns or fears of it, again, melting or doing weird things.
I am covered in glitter.
That means you're doing it correctly.
I'm so proud of my little guy.
Oh my goodness, look how awesome he is.
I'm pretty pleased.
You can add him to your collection at home.
I have quite an impressive collection. I have some Maggie Bennett and Stephanie Blaylock customs from the Stablemates painting contest, and I am blessed to have those pieces.
So this is Steph's 1 hour piece from this year after I cheated. And so I traded it for a micro scuttles that I had on my desk when I was doing the workshops or the artist gallery. And it looked so much like her horse that she agreed to trade me the little scuttles for him. So this is my only Steph Blaylock because this is my budget. And it's like one of my most prized possessions. He was so phenomenal.
He's very handsome.
And of course, Missy Shaw has the cheater piece because, of course. Yeah.
Just because you used supplies that aren't available in Stablemates painting, is that why you cheated?
Yeah. Sorry, was that why or how? Because the why is obvious. The how is definitely that I had stuff in my pocket.
Can't beat the contest. I think
but we were honest about it.
If you didn't cheat the contest and still were successful. All right. Do you have any more questions? Anyone viewing? Last call for questions. We got a couple minutes left. We can't wait to see pictures of your models. If you painted along with us today, please share photos of your creations in the comments of our Facebook posts and on social media. We would love to see them. We have one more question.
Oh. Theoretically, could you cast entire mini winnies in UV resin if the mold split them in half, or would it be too thick?
Okay, so theoretically, yes. Yeah, you could do it. Could you? That's a bit of a different question because then you're copying somebody else's mold. So like if you were just trying to do it artistically in order to achieve something as opposed to, sell something that was your own creation, I would say, yeah, absolutely go for it. Saw them in half, do half of it, glue back together, see what you got. I think there's a lot of cool opportunities in that respect. I would just be careful of the artist who originally did the mini winnies rights to their molds, et cetera, et cetera. It gets a little weird when we get into copying people's stuff. But I do think it would be really cool. And yes, the UV resin would penetrate deep enough, especially in a half. You wouldn't want to do it as a deep pour. If you're doing anything with a closed mold, sorry guys. If you're doing anything with a closed mold, you definitely need to use the 2-part with the, doing the 50-50 and mixing it together and then sacrificing something to the resin gods and hoping it'll fit them.
Another question. Could you achieve the same look with 3D printed wings glued on, or do you think it would be too flimsy?
The UV resin that we're using, that we're doing this work with, is way more durable, especially in this size, than the 3D prints are.
Okay.
And so like my extruding 3D printer, you could probably build something stable enough. I find that 3D printed small wings are just heartache. That's what they are. They're heartache. They end up broken in transit or something. This is a lot more durable. And I mean, worst case scenario, right? One of these pops off. When it gets where it's going, it's a really easy repair. This is not a shattered wing. This is not 50 pieces of resin in the bottom of a box. So this is just a matter of grabbing some UV resin. And I mean, if you're not into UV resin, you can just grab a Bondic pen at most stores. It's the same stuff. And reattach the wing. But you can see how hard I just actually had to work to get this silly wing off.
That hurt my heart when you ripped that off. Like a piece of my soul just left my body.
It's literally a 30-second fix. So that's the good news. If you're not happy with where you've put your wings, snap them off and put them back on. It's just fine, I promise.
I'm very pleased with my stablemate. All right. Well, thank you so much for joining us this evening, Shauna, and thank you everyone who's watching with us this evening. We hope you enjoyed our 75th anniversary Diamond Jubilee sparkle-inspired fun day, and we will catch you next time. Have a great night, everybody.